Hey guys, I've got a cool little lesson for you today. It's something that I really enjoy playing, even though the sound can be a bit corny or something like that, silly. I like that kind of stuff. So it's a very basic bassline concept that we're going to play while we play chords. I'll play something for you quickly and I'll show you how to do it. Something like that. Cool, so what we're doing is using our thumb to play a bass line. If I was just to use open strings, so I'm going A, E. If we're talking about an A chord, I was playing an A major chord. I was just barring it. You can play an A major chord. A lot of people play the A major chord with 3 fingers, which is good. I often find myself these days just playing it with 1 finger and either using that pinky on the 5th fret. So that's actually an A major. You might not have ever thought about that. I do that quite a bit. So you can go, which is cool. Or you could do it like that. So the top E string can ring. Either way, both good. You know I get sidetracked sometimes. So we're doing the A major. And in the key of A major, the A note is of course the root note or the bass note, but the E is actually the 5th. So once again, you may not know this, but can you hear the birds screaming? The birds are screaming outside. You can, on a bass, play the root note and the 5th note, in this case A, E, A, E. That's a really classic bass. That's a very basic thing that a bassist would play on a fairly beginner level. So here we're doing the same thing, but the E happens to be lower than the A note, but it actually sounds really cool, even though it's a lower pitch string. That's very nicely shaping with the root and the 5th, very nicely shaping this A chord. So we're doing a bass. And what I'm doing is playing the A string, and then I've got my 3 fingers on the 3, 4, 3, 2 strings to play that chord like that. So I've got 1 finger per string, 1 finger per string on the 4th, 3rd and 2nd strings, and that's how I'm playing that chord. So I go thumb, strings, thumb, strings, thumb, strings, thumb, strings, A string, E string. Hopefully that's making a bit of sense. I thought it was quite simple, but our beautiful camera woman is coming in close, which she usually does when I'm being confusing. So I hope I'm making a bit of sense. Thumb, strings, other string, strings. Please forgive me if that's not working for you. Hopefully it is working for you. We go to a D chord, D major. Same story. The thumb is going to play the D string and the A string open. That's that root 5th pattern that we've learned. And I've got 3 fingers to play 3 strings. I don't think you need much imagination to when you hear that, all that kind of like country music, bluegrass music, very fun, very open, very lively. If I wanted to get people dancing or get people having fun and smiling and laughing, that would definitely be right up there in the things that I would play. I love playing that kind of stuff. Also klezmer. Klezmer music uses this a lot. For a short time I played in a klezmer group, which was really cool. I would have played for a long time in that group, but some of the other guys were a bit lazy, so it's kind of just drifted apart as bands sometimes do, but I learnt a lot playing klezmer music. I used to do a lot of stuff like that with the D minor. Exactly the same concept, but with the D minor. So that's pretty cool. And I guess while I'm here, you know, I get sidetracked. Say I am doing a D minor, or you're doing a D minor. You can use... You can do melodic patterns. In this case, I've got a nice spare pinky there and a nice fret to put it on. And before you know it, you're doing a bass line and a chord and a melody at the same time. How cool is that? That's really some really nice guitar playing there that you can do. in that little example I showed you right at the start, I did a 12 bar blues in A. So I did A major, D major, back to A major with the pattern. And then I finished on the E. Now the E is unique. Well, it doesn't have to be as unique, because what I could have done with the E, this is an E note, and there's a B note below it. So I could have done that. Maybe I should have actually for this beginner level, because in that case you would have had exactly the same pattern where you've got the root note, then on the string below it is the fifth, and I was using 3 fingers to snap 3 strings. I'll admit I didn't do that. What I did was this. So in the case of the E chord, I reversed the system. I did the fifth, and then I had the root note lower, but that's still completely valid. But that's how I did it. So I was fretting the second fret of the fifth string, the B note, and the open low E string. And just 3 fingers playing the strings. So yeah, that's a little concept. I hope that's cool for you. I'll give you one more little bit of that, which I love to do. Just a little bit, very similar. If we do an A minor chord, just by barring or partially barring 5, 5, 5 on the top 3 strings, you can still do that A, E. I love that sound, and I can use the fingers. So in that case, you've got the chord, and then I'm just doing a melody on the top string. Keeping that bass line going. I love to do that on any chords that have open strings. So for example, D minor has got the D and the A, so I can easily do it here. And if you want it to be a bit tricky, you could use the G and the D strings to do like a G minor. This would probably only have 2 melodic notes. There. I've actually never done it in G before, but I just had that idea while I was speaking to you. So there we have it, root, fifth, bass lines with chords. It can also be done just quickly. Let's just say B minor. And it's good to do it actually like this. It can be done. So it doesn't need to be open strings. In that case, I'm just playing a fairly standard B minor chord, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2. And still the root note, the F sharp, is that 1 string lower. So any chord you're playing along the 5th string has got the root note directly below it. So that's a cool sound, isn't it? And you can do like, that's where I just hammer. So that's pretty cool. The one last thing I'm going to show you, there's heaps of stuff here. You don't have to learn it all, obviously. Even if you just learn one thing, I'll be happy, but I thought this was just going to be a quick little breezy little lesson, but I've given you some tips here that I wish someone gave me, and I didn't have to figure them out myself. So hopefully this is helping somebody. You could do like, so we were doing, let's say A minor now. And we'll do B, because that was we'll do C minor. How about that? Let's do C minor. So we're going. So hopefully you dig that. What I like to do sometimes is my first finger is a kind of flicky little thing. And I'm really raking that finger down the strings. But hopefully you get that sound. It's very like Johnny Cash kind of sound, and the White Stripes use it a little bit. It's heaps of stuff. Thank you very much. Let me know how you're going with that, and I hope you're having a good quarantine.